We tend to think of customer experiences after the purchase, but there's really, when you and I talked before about the complete buyer's journey, we have to be thinking about how we're designing. In fact, I was on with a CRO the other day and he said, I used to work at a company. And he said, it was so hard to onboard even the contract process with us that by the time we actually started work, the customer was frustrated. To think about all the non-traditional things in the world of the complexity of the world of B2B. But inside of that complexity, maybe what's your definition and the importance of this digital first, human always?
Yeah, it's very simple in terms of definition. It's almost like thinking about letting your customers choose their own adventure. And to your point, they may start their journey without us even knowing, without that first visit to the website. They may have seen the ad somewhere, or maybe you and I are talking and I may bring up a product which I think is pretty cool, and your journey has already started now. So I always think about that. How do you design and define your customer experience as choose your own adventure? And I don't know if you have read those children books. I have a 10-year-old who loves reading, and we have gotten into this book of choosing your own adventure. And I love that because my son always, whenever he reads that, he feels empowered. He's, Mom, I want to understand what happens from here. And I get to decide which page I go to next, depending on the decisions and the choices I'm making. And he is intrigued. He feels valued navigating through that book. He feels empowered. And I think that's very similar to how customers operate these days in my mind. You and I may talk about it. Then in maybe a few weeks, I'm on a similar topic and your conversation pops up and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to explore further. And I may talk to another friend or another peer in marketing. So I'm choosing my adventure instead of going directly to their website. So I do think as we define these CX, it's important to keep your user as a hero of the story. Your decision makers and influencers are almost like side actors. And then the setting is like real business life setting. And design it with a lot of passion, curation. Every touch point needs to be thought through. Like you mentioned, I've seen so many deals fall through just because a customer is frustrated on how long contract has taken, how long the implementation has taken, and it's not well thought out. So it has to be that end-to-end journey as well, which is critical as you think about CX.
And so I love the analogy of pick your own adventure. And not just because you're a skydiver and you're going to climb Mount Everest, but that just brings such a rich, like visual to what you're talking about here. And that adventure, by the way, contracts can be a huge hurdle internally. IT can be a big hurdle internally. Procurement can be a big hurdle internally. And we have to think about that adventure. We have to think about how do we make that so easily to navigate, not just the things that are about, oh, wow, look what they love about our tech or our product or services, but all the elements that are important in that entire journey and making it into an adventure. Such a great way to look at that.
I want to bring two quick points. I think a lot of people, customer centric, I always think about customers as internal and external. So I may be thinking about a hero who is my end kind of user, will be using the product. But some of those contracts are also generated internally. And that's a painful process at times for internal teams as well. So as a product builder, I always think about multiple dimensions of a problem and thinking through all those users, not just focusing on one. Because at times I've seen like doing an internal experience could provide you significant efficiency gains.
Right.
And that where you could win trust of a lot of those internal customers that you need to drive your agenda forward. So that's one thought that came to my mind. And then second thing I want to mention is this is such a common misnomer and a lot of companies make this mistake. I have made it in one of my startups. People believe you build a product and they will come. I don't know who they are and they never come. I can tell you that. So I think one of the lessons I have learned and the reason why I find go-to-market space so fascinating is because even before you think of an idea, you need to think about how you're going to get this technology, how you're going to get this product in hands of your consumers. So it has to be that comprehensive experience, not just building a product that is customer-centric.